Good afternoon. I'm CS Arya from IDBI Bank. See, for us, for entrepreneurs, be it MSME or startup, there is no difference from our side. We treat them equally. However, because startups, sometime what happens, as earlier speaker also told, that we invest what we understand. So sometime what happens, because of the banks are not in a position to understand what is your offering, especially startup. So because of that, sometime they avoid investing over there. Another issue that we don't invest, banker don't invest, we lend. This is a difference. This is a very big difference. So I would like to discuss on the what we offer to MSME, and some of that is also applicable to startup. Basically, MSME or startup normally, can get fund from banks. Banks give lending also, debt fund, then private equity. Those who normally give equity, then venture capital who give hybrid of this. This is the basic difference. We don't invest. And why we don't invest? Because we are using public money, so we are debarred from investing. We are permitted only for on lending. So because of that, we don't invest. Yes, few direct equity investment we do in stock market, but it's very limited. It's very limited. Now, bank do debt financing. So what are the benefits? We can give you, fixed amount with interest that you have to pay regularly. Is a schedule is there. You can plan what amount you want. There will be no other obligations. You have to just pay interest and regularly the installment, nothing else. Typically, it would be secured by collaterals. However, now banks have started giving loans without collateral also. We are also giving without collaterals. Okay, this is and this suits to whom? It suits the established companies with solid credit, collateral and steady revenues. We wanted this. So then only we lend. Because most of the times people complain banks are not giving loan. This is a general complaint. Everybody speaks this. I'll tell you that also. I'll try to convince also that banks are lending. This is for working capital and for if you want to expand, if you want to buy some equipments, for that also we give funding. That is called term loans. Working capital, where we give you for working capital, you need not to pay. It is we regular annual basis, we review, and based on that, what is your performance, what is your sales, what is your profitability, based on that either we reduce, and if you want, we can further enhance also. And these term loans, you have to pay periodically. Now, here the merit is that there is no fear of loss of ownerships, because we don't want anything else, only regular payment, nothing else. So only payment obligation is there, there is no other obligations. This required, now there will be demerit also. So it's required collaterals and regular payment. If you are paying regularly, so we are happy, and since our relationship will strengthen, over future if you want further, we will definitely support you. Because if you are regularly paying, then you have a history with us, your relationship is strengthened, then we'll completely in future also, whatever your requirement is there, we are ready to help you. But there will be a flexible, it limits your business. If you want to, all of a sudden you want to expand, and you have very high ambitious plan, there will be, some limitation from bank side. Though I am not expert on commenting on this, but there are certain best merits in private equity also and venture capital also, but there are some demerits also. I would not go into details. You can see this. There are, demerits of loss of controls, high debt levels, and, short-term horizons. Banks, give long-term loans, and other source of funds, they will have a very short-term vision. So, if you want to take money from banks, you will have a long-term vision. We will have a long-term vision. We will be having long-term relationships, and we will also support in case of you need further expansion, and also in case of crisis, banks are also ready to support you. It's not that we are only, fair weather friends. We support in crisis also. That also keep in mind. Similarly, venture capitalists, of course, they are giving very good funding. There are certain limitations. I'll not go into details of this. Now, see, now people says that there are challenges. Yes, there are challenges. Roughly 80% of MSMEs in India are finding difficulty in accessing fund because they are not formally registered on URC. They don't have URC. Unless they are registered on URC, banks don't fund. So 80% of the MSME in India are not registered. So they are informal. The banks find difficulty in extending loan to them. And mostly banks insist on collateral, and these MSME, don't have capital. Collaterals. So they sometimes they find difficult to get loan. But because of the government supports, the government schemes, bank have started giving loans without collateral also. A huge money bank has given without collateral also. Then now another issue is why they don't get fund. Apart from this, there's a bank wants financial statements or some kind of formal accounting system the MSME should maintain. Some of the being very small, they don't maintain proper accounts. So because of that, banks are finding difficulty in extending loans to them. So another issue that many small business are not part of formal credit system because of that. Because we are looking, banks typically are looking their CIBIL or CMR reports. So small units don't have this. Because of that, they are also finding difficulties. These are the challenges by startup also. So I'll not go into this here. Because banks fund when they have a confidence. There is a, regular cash flow. There is a revenue. Pre-revenue we don't fund. We don't fund because unless we see the, color of the money, we don't fund. So because of this, we normally avoid, but there are certain schemes from government of India. In those schemes, we are funding. We are not investing. And another issue that banks, being a banks, sometimes don't understand what they are actually doing. Unless we understand, it's very difficult to, lend. Other speaker also said this, that unless if they don't understand, they don't invest. Similarly, for us also. So unless we understand, we will not lend. So some of the innovative business models, they are coming with various new technology we don't understand. Or, traditionally, we are traditional banker, unless we touch the product, they avoid lending. So this is the basic difference of MSME and startup. So there is a legal framework. MSME is defined under MSME Act. A startup is defined under different act. Age, mostly, normally I say these are the two kids of a family. One is very old, another one is very young. So young one is pampered one, a startup. They have, purpose is different. Any traditional business, modern or with or without innovation, focusing on stable local or regional markets. A startup normally focus on innovations. In MSME, we based on investment and turnover, we classify in small, medium, and micro enterprises. And there are different benefits also. Government gives different benefits, especially CGT MSME. The government provide training and and also protect from delayed payment from large buyers and sellers. Now, what bank has played role bank has played? Normally, we keep hearing this that banks are not funding to MSMEs. It's not like that. As on date, roughly 40 lakh crores of lending goes to MSME. It's 35 lakhs crore it is written, roughly is 40 lakh crore by March 25. This kind of money bank has lent to MSME. Last year, there was a growth of 12% in credit in banking industries. However, credit to MSME grew 13%, is more than what is the average credit growth in the industries, is more than more than that. And as far as IDBI is concerned, we grew to, our credit to MSME grew roughly 25%. It was roughly 23 plus. This year also we are aiming roughly 25%. And Beyond this, within this also, micro and small grew roughly 12%, medium grew 21%. Why? Now there is a buzz within the ecosystem, economy, that unless we grow in MSME, it would be difficult to achieve the dream of Viksit Bharat. Because this is the backbone, this is very critical. MSME is very critical and crucial if you want to grow. It's a pyramid, and now everybody is focusing on that. Why we are focusing, that I'll also tell. Apart from this, delinquency that normally banks are scared of, NPA, that is called NPA, is minimal, in lowest in 5 years. It's just 1.8%. Just 1.8%. And another trend is that new to credit, that means new entrepreneurs are the growth of 47% was there in the new to credit. Either they were new or they were not registered with URC, now they have registered, so because of that they got. This kind of banks are playing roles. Now what is banks offering? Now before that I'll tell you why banks are not lending. Why banks are not lending? It's not that. Banks, if you are accepting deposit, roughly 78% they have to lend. Out of 800 rupees, if they accept deposit, 78% they have to lend. If they don't lend, they will not make money. So we are also scouting for good opportunities. Typically, 3 area banks lend in broader sense. One is a big companies, those are listed. It's a crowded market. Everybody chasing them, and it's very difficult to land there. And if we are able to land there, it's very difficult to make money there. It's a very limited group of companies. It's very difficult. Another section is that retail. Retail, housing loan, personal loan, credit card and all. I'll tell you another very interesting story before I tell why MSME we are not funding. That roughly 25 years banks were not giving housing loans, personal loans. You may not be knowing, but some of the people may be knowing. The banks were not giving the housing loan and personal loans, credit card loans. But after that, once they started, once they tasted, now there's a huge growth. Huge growth. And this is this story, or this is the history is being repeated now in MSME. Now people have realized that no, if you want to make money, MSME is the area where they should focus. Because a huge growth, the kind of contribution MSME has to GDP, job creation, export promotion, manufacturing. The banks are also want to participate in this growth story and also make money and support MSME. So what is our offering? See, we are exclusively financing MSMEs, be it new or existing. MSME means not only MSME, startup also. Then we are giving export-import finance, not only working capital and term loans. Normally, MSME looks for working capital and term loans. But if you are, exporting, we are funding export finance. If you are importing some things, we are funding for that also. Then we have supply chain finance. If you are, supplying something and your money, get late, so for that, during that period also, for that, to manage your working capital, we are funding that also. It's a huge market, it's a very good market, and you will get a lots of support there. Then trade finance. This is the area where, MSME do not very seriously looks into. It's also very important if you are exporting, importing, your cash management, your receivable management, your payment management are taken care under trade finance. Suppose you are new to export, how to export. If you are want to import, how to import. Those, apart from giving funding, we will give you services, we will give you advice, how to export, how to import, what are the requirements, what are the delinquents, what are the cautions you should take, what are the action you are supposed to take. We will support in the entire journey. Export, import, MSME are, there is a lack of knowledge, that we will support. It's not that we will only fund, we will entire transaction we will support. It's a long journey. Then it's a very good platform of trades. It's a electronic platforms where bills are discounted of the, if you are, if you are supplying to big listed companies or big companies, and those companies are registered on trade platforms, your bills are discounted by banks, all banks. It's an electronic format. You need not to, have relation with me. Suppose you are supplying to a very big corporates, you don't have any banking relationship with me, still your bill may be discounted over there. And it's a very good platform if you want to reduce your cost. Very good platform, there you can reduce your cost of fund. Because over there, roughly every month 2 lakh crores of funds, bills are discounted. So it's a very good platform if you are supplying to a big. And apart from this, recently government of India has also facilitated this, that if you are supplying to MSME, that is also being discounted here. So MSME to MSME bill discounting is also happening here. It's a very good platform. You may check on Google's and how to do this. If you want, we can support also. Now what we have roughly 200 dedicated SMB branches which are exclusively for MSME. Across India, these branches are exclusively catering MSME branches. We have, in those branches, we have relationship officer dedicated only for MSMEs across India. They discuss with you, they understand your requirement, and based on that, they give you a proper solution. It's not just simple working capital or term loan. Depends, we understand, then based on that, we give us proper solutions. So we have exclusive, dedicated, specialized officer in 200 branches. Apart from this, we have roughly 1800 other retail branches where also we have offices who also cater to MSMEs across India. Then basic issue we have come to know that in MSME, your timely and adequate credit is important. That is timely. So for, giving you timely supports, we have roughly 63 credit solution center, credit processing centers, who ensure that your request, your application is processed in time and the timely credit is given to you. That we ensure. We have 63 processing centers across India that I have already told. We have digital credit delivery channels. We have recently launched a product where you have to go directly to our either on apps or website. It's a DIY journey, do it yourself journey. You can instantly get up to as on date 25 lakhs of loan immediately. Nothing is required. Whatever is to be done, it has to be done by you only. Based on that, we give you credit. It's instant, without any involvement. You need not to visit branch, nothing. Only say instant, 25. Then we have digital e-supply chain financing. If you are, procuring raw materials or your items from big corporates, so they are, either giving you some kind of discount or asking you to give upfront payment. And that time it becomes a, working capital issues. So for that, 60 days, 90 days, we can fund you, and that is a electronics. You simply have to raise your order. If your order is accepted by your suppliers, instantly we'll release the fund to you. Instantly. So it's a very good platforms. If your order is accepted by your suppliers, instantly we'll fund you. You need not to release fund from your own side. After 60 days or 90 days, whatever your requirement is, that at that time you have to make the payment. Now, these are our offerings, that we have flexible products. It's not working capital or term loan, as I have already told you. What we discuss with you, whatever suits you, based on that we give you products. You may be knowing that we were known for development financings, infrastructure financings. We have those expertise, we have those experience, we have legacy experience. Based on that, we discuss with you. Based on that, we give you suitable products which suits your requirement. It's not a simple working capital or term loan. Of course, without collateral, everybody has started giving. We are giving collateral-free fundings. You need not to give any collaterals. Then very competitive rates. Rates are already very down now. Is very. Then we advise. We are giving a trade finance or treasuries advisories also. If you have treasury related products, we give you. Then we give you trade finance services. We have capability of settling the settling the accounts. We have top level banks arrangement with across the world. We have capability of settling a transaction in 100 currencies. Wherever you are exporting, from wherever you are importing, irrespective of the currency, we can settle. The rates would be very competitive, very refined. We have dedicated people in major cities who are taking care, who are providing these treasury services. Treasury services, we have separate people, dedicated people. We have dedicated people for for trade finance also. We have a very good products. Now another issue that why the MSME is not able to access fund. There are lots of schemes, but the awareness is not there. Of course, it's a from both sides. We are launching product, but we are not able to create a buzz. And there is also a lack of awareness among the MSMEs also. Everybody knows GEMSI portal. Everybody knows GEMSI portals. GEMSI portals, we are providing instant loan of 10 lakh rupees if your purchase order is accepted by the company. But if you are registered there and your purchase order is accepted by the purchaser, mostly these are government PSUs or central government companies. If it is accepted against accepted purchase order, instantly you have nothing to do. You have to simply apply for loan. Instantly 10 lakh rupees without any collateral, nothing. Immediately it will be credited to your accounts. It's a very good product, but because awareness is not there, because of that this is happening. There were lots of fintech discussions. So we are also looking that we can provide these things, and we are also working on this, that seamless financial operations. Lots of people ask that there is just deficiency in the services or delay in delivery of the services. We are working on that, and it's evolving. It takes time, but still we are trying to how to provide services instantly. Because of this only we have come out with this kind of MSME solution also. Instant digital loan is said end-to-end digital journey. We are also now there is lots. Earlier there was a complaint from MSME that banks is not funding. Why banks were not funding? That bank needs some information, some data, some feedback about the MSME. And MSME, since many MSME are not maintaining formal accounts, or they may be maintaining, but the way we wanted they are not maintaining. It's not that they are not credit worthy. They are credit worthy. It is this inefficiency of the system, including banks, who are not able to assess them properly. Why? Because there was no information, feedback, data was available. Now there is DPI, everybody is talking. Many information what we wanted is available. All those information which we wanted is available. Now this situation had come without knowing also I know your information. That is also come. Another issue that traditionally banks were funding against collaterals, or they wanted some kind of history of or accounts. Now banks are completely moving from this. Earlier banks were funding based on balance sheets. Now banks are moving to cash flows. Cash flow based funding is happening. Cash flow based fundings, now again people say the MSME will not be able to provide cash flow details. No, we don't need. Bank doesn't need this. Now it is available easily in GST. Is easily available. So banks are moving to that, and many people, including IDBI, has moved to that. So now based on that, like IMSME, we are not asking any balance sheet. We are not asking you to provide any accounts. Simply based on your cash flow, we are accessing GST and funding. So banks are moving from balance sheet funding to cash flow funding based on the data available in the market. Now, there is lots of, the data is available, but banks want that data in a structured way so that they can use. For that, we need API integration. There are lots of data available through various API, but we need in a structured way, so we need API integration. That's we are working. That's a lots of startup are coming to integrate these APIs, like account aggregators, how they are, taking data from various things, then will give in a structured way to banks. Then automated reconciliations, as he also said. Then smart accounting, digital lending, fintech partnership. We are doing fintech partnership for on lending, co-lending. All these things we are doing, we are exploring these things. Then, again, we are trying to scale up channel financings, vendor financings, co-lending, trades, and another issue is that trades, I have already spoken, embedded financings. Not lots of business is embedded. Now, so for there is an opportunity, small amounts can be discounted. Many fintech has already started giving loans for a small amount. 1,000 rupees, 500, these are such a kind of loans. Such a kind of loans have also started giving. Over there, we need a technology because it's a volume game. 1,000 rupees loans, 500 rupees loan, buy now, pay later, all these things are coming. So it's a very good concept, but it needs a volume, it needs a technology. It has to be, faceless, humanless, then only it can be done. Now, some of that would be very interesting for you guys, that what are the options available, without collaterals. This government has launched this scheme, this credit guarantee scheme for startups. It's a very good scheme. Then is a Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Under this, 20 lakhs of rupees is given without any collaterals, based on very limited documents. Then we have Credit Guarantee Trust, CGT MSME, 10 crores, without collaterals, banks are giving loans. It's a very good scheme. Under this scheme, as of now, roughly 3 lakh crores of funding is given by banks. It's a huge, and it's very good, it's very popular also. There are other schemes also. Mostly the first 3-4 are, run by banks, other by various other government agencies. That's it from my side. So I would like to one more thing to tell, that banks are giving 10,000 loans to 100 crores of loans, that too without collateral. Recently, government has a scheme, launched a scheme wherein bank can give 100 crores of loan where government will give guarantees. Mutual Credit Guarantee Scheme it's called. It's 100 crores for MSME. So now it's a spectrum, see the spectrum, 10,000 rupees loan to 100 crores of loan. Only one more things I would like to, two things but rather, that first, it has to be a long-term relationships. If you are inviting investor, it will not have a long-term relationship. Bank will have a long-term relationship. Secondly, somebody was asking that only one person, one consumer of the services. My advice would be that you should not depend on one buyer and one seller. You must diversify. Based on our experience, I can tell you many good MSME fails once their buyer or seller collapse. Recent past, you must have seen also. Many good buyers, very good MSME, sincere MSME, doing very good, because their buyer seller collapsed, they collapsed. So you should diversify. And another issue that, since that buyer seller is a big giant, they are squeezing their margin. So they are not making money because of that. So if you increase your buyer and seller, you will not be dependent on person. Then you should also invest on technology, of course, and people also. You are very sincere, you are very good, you are very focused about the business, but you are also concentrating humans, IT, finance. Because of that, you are not able to concentrate more on your business. So you have to, delegate, skill your people, and also, invest in R&D. That's it from my side. Any question I would like to answer that.